Hey guys, well here is my dad's Echo SRM 2201. So, works really good, but as you can probably see, the starter rope, it's almost showing signs that it's starting to look frayed, but this is the original starter rope on this trimmer. So this trimmer is probably about at least 23 or 24 years old. So today I'm going to do a video on how to replace the starter rope on it. Alright, so first we need to get the recoil starter off. It's held on by 4 screws. So we'll get those off. Use either a Phillips screwdriver or a flathead. And if y'all are just noticing, yes, I'm using my digital camera instead of my HD camera. I was going to use the HD camera for this video, but the battery was dead and I forgot to charge it. Okay, we got 2 off. Now we'll get the other screws off. Okay, and then that other one there. Okay. Now our recoil starter's off. Alright, so now we got it off. We need to remove the center screw. And again, it's also either a Phillips screw or a flathead. If we can get it off here. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, so I did manage to got the screw to break loose. It was so tight I actually had to take the drill to it. Now if you're going to use a drill to try to get these things off, be very careful because you could do some damage to the screw head. As you can probably see, I did just maybe a tiny bit of damage, but not too much. But again, just be very careful and just use common sense. So now I'm able to just get it off now with just a regular screwdriver. Okay. You can get that off by hand now. Yep. Whenever you take that screw off, just don't lose that washer. I hope I can try to get that washer to come out. Okay. Now, just try to wiggle on this a little bit without the spring unwinding. And there we go. Oh, and matter of fact, it just did starts to kind of unwound, so hold on a second here. Well, unfortunately the recoil spring, apparently it unwound on me, so it kind of got caught on the pulley here. So I didn't really have that issue with the Mantis tiller. So this pulley is actually quite the same as of the one on the Mantis tiller. So it looks like I need to see if I can try and rewound this spring, and if not, I'll just end up getting a new spring. Well, I tried rewinding this spring, and apparently it's just, I don't know, it's just a pain in the ass. So instead, I'm just gonna get a brand new spring. And so the video will just have to wait. So I'll get back with y'all in the next few days. Alright, so it's a few days later. So I got my new recoil spring. And the part number for it, it's hard to see. Part number for the spring is 17722040630 from Echo. And so it's got a rubber band that's just holding it, and then an outer ring that's just on to make it easy on installing the spring. And so installing the spring, see there's a hook here, so it has to go on from right here onto the starter. Just as you can see, the spring can only just go in one way. So that just makes it a lot easy, just so that way you won't put the spring on backwards. And so we'll get the spring put on. And simple as that. Spring is all in, and that's how we want it to go on. And you always want to make sure the end of the spring is right against the center piece right here. And that it is. Alright, so now I'll grab the old rope and I'll measure it to the new one, and we'll start getting it onto the pulley. Alright, so the new rope's all measured, and so the size of rope I'm using is a number 4. Now you always want to use the same size of rope. Don't use a rope that's any thicker, because otherwise it just won't work properly. And just as always, you always want to heat up the ends of the rope. Just heat it up there, and then just roll it around. Be careful, this will be hot. You want to do this to prevent the ends of the rope from fraying. So that's what you want. So next we'll insert one end of the rope into the hole of the pulley right here. Okay. And then just grab the end of the rope with some needle nose pliers just to pull it right through the hole. Not too much, but just a little bit. And then just tie a knot. And also just take some needle nose pliers and then just pull. That ensures the knot will be nice and tight. And then the one part of the pulley here has got a little notch there where we can just put the tail end of the rope down into it and just push it in. And then just pull on the rope to ensure that the knot is secured. In this case, this one is. Alright, so now we'll install our pulley back onto the housing here. Just kind of work this in, just push it, kind of push it in a little bit, just so that way it'll start, just until it'll start to come in contact with the spring. Alright, so just ensure that it's in properly. Just kind of turn it a little bit counterclockwise, and you'll see it'll spring back just like that, and that's what you want. That ensures you get it in properly. So now I'll just put our screw in. Alright, now you can go ahead and just insert the other end of the rope right through the hole here. Alright, and then we can just insert this end of the rope into the starter handle. And then we'll just retrieve the end of the rope with some needle nose pliers. And then again, we'll just tie a knot here. Now I'm going to do a much different knot. It's what's kind of called a figure 8 knot. I'm going to kind of just twist this around a little bit. And then just right through that little loop there. If I can get all this to cooperate here. There we go. Well, that wasn't quite much of a knot. It's kind of hard for me to try to make the knot in front of the camera. Okay, so I was wrong about the figure 8 knot. So what you got to do, insert the end of the rope here through the loop, around, and then go around it again. Okay. And there we go. And then just take the needle nose pliers and just pull on the end, that way just to make the knot nice and tight. Okay. Now we'll just pull it right in there, and then just insert the tail end right in with either a small screwdriver or some needle nose pliers. Make sure it's down in there really good. Then again, just pull on it to make sure it's tight. And looks like it is. I don't think that she's going to go anywhere. Alright, so it's all in. Sometimes what you can also do, if you want, you can also heat up the knot with your lighter, which it'll make the knot a lot stronger to ensure that it won't untie itself. Alright, so we got everything all in. So now the last thing we just got to do is we need to tighten up the recoil spring. Alright, so on how to tighten the recoil spring, so what you need to do, get a little slack of rope, have the rope onto the notch on the pulley here, and what you do, rotate the pulley counterclockwise. Now, don't do this too much, because if you do it way too much, you'll take a risk of breaking the recoil spring. So maybe just a few turns. Alright, so now we'll let go of the slack here. And just almost, there's just a tiny bit of slack, so probably maybe just one more time here. Alright, as you can see now, she springs back nice and perfect now. You can also pull it back and forth like this, and she's working great. So now, we'll install this back onto the trimmer. Alright, so we just got to tighten up the screws, and tighten these up evenly, just so it goes on nice and evenly. So just do a crisscross pattern. So like tighten this end here, do this one, and then do the same from this one and then on the other one, just to ensure that it's on nice and evenly. Alright, and that's that. And of course it's working like it should. Alright, so now I'll give it a start to make sure that she's still working. So she's on, choke, give it some primes. Alright, so cool. So that's how you would install replace the starter rope on the older Echo trimmers. And I think you could also perform the same principle on the newer ones as well. So yeah, so hope y'all enjoyed this video. So thanks for watching.